Before you keep watching, understand this. This is not a story you casually listen to in the background. This is not content you forget when the next video starts. This is a descent. Some names are remembered because they changed history. Others are remembered because they changed people. Beatrice was never famous, never powerful, never loud. Yet everyone who crossed her path walked away different. They called her insane. Not because she screamed, not because she lost control, but because she saw things most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Tonight, we're not asking whether Beatrice was dangerous. We're asking something far more unsettling. What if she was right? This is Inside Beatrice Insane. If you're watching this right now, chances are you already feel it. That pull, that curiosity, the question you're not supposed to ask but can't stop thinking about. Who was Beatrice? And why did everyone who got close to her leave changed? This is not a story meant to comfort you. This is a story meant to stay with you long after the screen goes dark. This is Inside Beatrice Insane. Beatrice was ordinary by every measurable standard. No criminal record. No dramatic childhood tragedy that people could easily point to. She grew up in a quiet place where nothing ever really happened, and maybe that was the first problem. People who knew her as a child describe her the same way. Quiet, observant, always watching. Not shy, not antisocial, just distant. She asked strange questions. Not inappropriate ones, just unsettling ones. Why do people smile when they're lying? How do you know if your thoughts are really yours? If everyone agrees on something, does that make it true? Adults laughed it off. Kids avoided her. And Beatrice learned early that silence made people comfortable. But silence didn't mean emptiness. Inside Beatrice, something was growing. As she got older, her world narrowed. Not because she failed to fit in, but because she began to see patterns other people ignored. She noticed how people repeated the same conversations. How emotions followed scripts. How grief, love, anger, even happiness seemed rehearsed. She once wrote in a private journal that people were performing life instead of living it. That journal was never meant to be seen, but it would later become the most disturbing artifact connected to her. In her teenage years, Beatrice started documenting everything. Conversations, facial expressions, pauses between words. She categorized laughter, measured silence, counted how many times someone blinked when answering a question. To her, this wasn't obsession. It was research. She believed sanity was just a shared agreement. That insanity was what happened when you stopped agreeing. The first real incident happened quietly. A close friend confronted her one afternoon and asked a simple question. "Why do you look at people like that?" Beatrice didn't respond right away. She smiled, then asked a question of her own. "Do you want the answer that keeps us friends, or the one that's true?" They never spoke again. From that point forward, people described feeling uneasy around her. Not threatened, not afraid, just exposed. Like she could see something they were hiding, even from themselves. She didn't insult people. She didn't manipulate them. She simply told them things about themselves they weren't ready to hear. And that, it turns out, is far more dangerous. Beatrice began isolating herself. Not out of sadness, but out of clarity. She claimed that solitude made thoughts louder, and louder thoughts were harder to lie to. She stopped consuming media. No news, no social platforms, no television. She said it interfered with original thinking. Instead, she read psychology, philosophy, neuroscience. She became obsessed with the concept of identity, where it begins, where it fractures, whether it ever truly exists at all. Her notes became darker. "I'm not broken, I am unedited." They call it insanity because they can't control it. The phrase Beatrice Insane first appeared online as a joke, a nickname, something people whispered when her name came up. But she adopted it, not as an insult, as a title. She claimed insanity wasn't chaos. It was freedom without permission. And that's when things started to escalate. People who interacted with her during this phase reported similar experiences. Conversations that felt normal at first, then unsettling, then unforgettable. She would ask questions that forced people inward. When was the last time you chose something instead of reacting? If you stripped away your habits, what would be left? Are you afraid of being alone or afraid of who you are when you're alone? Some people laughed it off. Others couldn't sleep afterward. One person said talking to Beatrice felt like standing in front of a mirror that talked back. Another said she didn't feel human, but not in a monstrous way. More like she was operating on a different layer of reality. Beatrice never raised her voice, never threatened, never demanded. She simply observed, reflected, and waited. And people unraveled on their own. Her journal entries from this time are the most chilling. I don't break people. I remove the noise. They collapsed because they were already unstable. At some point, she vanished. No dramatic disappearance, no police report. She just stopped showing up, stopped responding, stopped existing in the way people expected. But that's when the legend began. Fragments of her writing started appearing online. Anonymous uploads, screenshots, audio recordings. No one could confirm their origin, but the voice was unmistakable. Calm, precise, unemotional. She spoke about sanity as a prison, about society as a system designed to reward predictability and punish deviation. She said most people weren't alive, just functional. The internet labeled her dangerous, then brilliant, then insane. The more people tried to categorize her, the more she slipped through the cracks. And then came the final message. A single post uploaded once, then deleted. You are not watching this because you're curious. You're watching because something in you recognizes this. They told you madness looks loud and chaotic. But the truth is, it's quiet. It's clarity without comfort. I am not insane. I am unfiltered. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. After that, nothing. No more posts, no more leaks, no confirmations. Just silence. To this day, no one knows where Beatrice is, or if she ever truly existed as people believe she did. Some think she was a social experiment. Some think she's still out there, watching, documenting. Some think Beatrice Insane isn't a person at all, but an idea. A reminder of what happens when someone stops pretending. And maybe the most unsettling possibility of all is that Beatrice wasn't insane. She was just honest in a world built on denial. So here's the real question. If Beatrice was right, if sanity is just a shared lie, then what does that make the rest of us? And more importantly, why did this video make you uncomfortable? If this story stayed with you, if it made you question something you've never questioned before, then you already understand. If this story disturbed you, it wasn't because of Beatrice. It was because something in you recognized it. The discomfort you feel isn't fear, it's confrontation. Because the most unsettling idea isn't that Beatrice was insane, it's that sanity might just be a story we all agreed to tell. She didn't force anyone to change. She didn't manipulate. She didn't destroy. She simply removed the filters. And when the filters disappeared, people didn't like what they saw. So before you click away, ask yourself one final question. If Beatrice was wrong, why does her story still follow you? And if she was right, what does that mean for you? If you're ready to explore more stories that live between psychology, identity, and the truths we avoid, stay here. Because once you start questioning the line between sanity and insanity, you never stop seeing it. And some doors, once opened, don't close.